Hello, can all of you hear me? Okay, fine. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the class. And thank you for attending today's class. So the topic that we will be learning today is exporting, importing, and sourcing. Samo, I am fine. Thank you. Ramesh, I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. Hope all of you are doing good and have a great day today. Hello, Farooq. How are you? I hope all of you can hear me clearly. Farooq, I am fine. Thank you. Thank you for asking. Okay, Rishi. Great. Okay, good. Nice to hear that. So the topic that we will be learning today is exporting, importing, and sourcing. What do we mean by the term importing and exporting? I've discussed this lot of times. What do we mean by the term exporting? Can anyone explain? What do we mean by the term export or import? All of you have heard this term a lot of times. Sourcing from other countries, sending of goods, sending goods to another country for sale. Very good. Let me write down the basic definition. This is the basic definition of exporting. The term export means shipping the goods and services out of the port of your country. The seller of such goods and services is referred to as an exporter, right? And is based in the country of export, whereas the overseas based buyer is referred to as an importer, right? And the reverse is the definition of importing. Importing means to import something, right? Some goods which is entering your port. Prabha, very good evening. How are you? Prabha, Seher, Renan. I hope all of you can hear me clearly. Rishi Ram. Okay. So let's start. So we are discussing today about exporting, importing, and sourcing. So we have just started, and we were just discussing the basic definition of exporting and importing. Right. So this was the definition of exporting I wrote. Let me also write down the definition of importing. This is the definition of import. An import is a good brought into a jurisdiction, especially across a national border from an external source. The party bringing in the good is called an importer. An import in the receiving country is an export from the sending country. So something that is coming to your country or to your port is referred to as importing. So let's start. Can all of you see the slides? Okay, so I'm not going much into the basics of importing and exporting and the procedures for importing and exporting because I have already discussed that in my previous classes. So let's read some of the, let's just go to some of the other concepts related to exporting and importing. Now, what do we mean by export selling versus export marketing? Right, so these two are new terms. One is export selling and the other one is export marketing. See, export selling involves selling the same product at the same time, at the same price, with the same promotional tools in a different place. Right? Export selling involves selling the same product at the same price with the same promotional tools in a different place. Whereas export marketing tailors the marketing mix to international customers. Marketing mix, I discussed it yesterday. I hope all of you remembers it. Right? I discussed the concept of 4 P's and the 7 P's and the CS, 7 C's. So in export marketing, we use the concept of marketing mix, right? Where we mix the 4 P's as per the customers. And in export selling, we use the same product and the same promotional tools with the same price, with the same promotional tools in a different place. Now, what are the requirements for export marketing? An understanding of the target market environment, the use of market research and identification of market potential, and decisions concerning the product design, pricing, distribution and channels, advertising and communication. Right, so for export marketing, export marketing means in which we are using the concept of marketing mix. Number one, the first requirement is that the organization should have an understanding of the target market environment. What do we mean by the term target market? It means the specific set of peoples for which the company has made the product. Right? Like for the target market may be the youth, the target market may be the old peoples, the target market may be the newly married couples. Right? So the company has to be very clear that the product they are going to sell in the market is promoted properly among those set of peoples. That is what they mean, an understanding of the target market environment. Also, it is important that the company should be aware of the taste those target set of customers are looking for in that product, so that the company can serve the purpose. The use of market research and identification of market potential. So market research is a very good tactics to understand or to read or understand the market of also to understand your competitors, what your competitors are selling, right? How can you sell your product at a cheaper price than them? So all those things comes under market research. So there is a specific set of people who do the market research before bringing their product into the market. Decisions concerning product design, pricing, distribution and channels, advertising and communication. So product design, pricing and distribution of the product from the place where it is manufactured to the time it reaches the distributors, retailers and the customers. So the distribution channels should be smooth enough. Advertising is also very important for promotional point of view. Clear till now? Okay. Organizational export activities. One second. Yeah. The firm is unwilling to export. It will not even fill an unsolicited export order. The firm fills unsolicited export orders but does not pursue unsolicited orders. Such a firm is an export seller. What do we mean by the term unsolicited orders? Can anyone explain? Does anyone know? What do we mean by the term unsolicited? Unsolicited means not interested, uninterested, we can say, right? Uninterested or unexpected export order. Not asked for, given or done, right? There are many orders which are not asked for or expected, but still they reaches the organization, not asked for, not meeting the regulation, yes, unsatisfied, yeah, right? So the company or the firm, the exporting firm, will not export those goods which are unsolicited, right? Or they have got some unsolicited order, right? So it is unwilling to export. It will not even fill an unsolicited export order. So hey, good evening. How are you? The firm fills unsolicited export order but does not pursue unsolicited orders. Such a firm is called an export seller. The firm explores the feasibility of exporting, right? So they check the feasibility means possibilities of exporting. The convenience. This is the definition of feasibility. I don't know how many of you know it. Easily, yeah. The state or degree of being easily or conveniently done. So if the organization feels it is easy to export, they will do that. If they feel it is difficult because of many hindrances, they will skip it. The firm exports to one or more market on a trial basis. So first they will send a small part of their goods, and if they see the response is good from the market, then they will send more units in bulk. Clear? Organizational export activities, this part. Okay, let's proceed. Okay, good. The firm is an experienced exporter to one or more market. So many exporting firms are experienced to one or more type of markets. Here, one or more market means that customer base, they are familiar with one or more types of customers and what they want, what are their tastes, what are qualities or things they are expecting in the product. After this success, the firm pursues the country or region focused marketing based on certain criteria. So once this is done, they study the market of the country where they are exporting their goods. The firm evaluates the global market potential before screening for the best target market to include in its marketing strategy and plan. Now here they are, since we are dealing with abroad market, right? So the organization first read the market, abroad market thoroughly before sending the goods. This is the data of national policies governing the export and import. This is for Mexico, it is $9.7, China $6.52, Hong Kong 2.71, Canada 3.30. Right. So this is just for example. Now there are many many governments who support exporting, right? So they run various programs. Now let's see what are those programs. Government programs that support exports. Number 1, tax incentives. Number 2, subsidies. Number 3, government assistance. What do you mean by the term tax incentive? It's a very common term, incentive. Yeah, Rishi, I am coming to that. What do we mean by the term tax incentives? Can anyone explain? Incentive is a very common term. Relaxation of tax. Very good. See, a tax incentive is an aspect of a country's tax code designed to incentivize or encourage a particular economic activity. Right? There are many tax incentives who simply remove part of the burden of the tax. Market transaction is taking place. So less tax. Any other point? More export, less tax. Yes, very good point. Deduction or exemption from a tax liability offered as an inducement to engage in a specified activity for a certain period of time. Right, so that the government gives relaxation for encouraging exporting. Subsidies. How many of you are familiar with this term? Subsidies. I have heard about it. Now see, subsidy, I will give you one example. Like in India, the cylinders, the gas cylinders, right, which all of us use for cooking. One cylinder costs rupees 430 rupees, 430, right? So government has two types of cylinders. One is subsidized, that is which includes the subsidy, and the other one which does not include the subsidy. The non-subsidized cylinder costs around 900 rupees, just double of for the subsidized. Now, in subsidized, government has set the limit, like each year a family can use up to 12 cylinders. 12 subsidized cylinders, and if it crosses the 12 frequency, the 13th cylinder will be non-subsidized. Means that you have to purchase it of 930 rupees. Now try to understand the difference between subsidized and non-subsidized. In subsidized, 430 rupees is being beared by the customer, and the remaining money is being beared by the government to those companies. Right? That is what we mean by subsidies. Some part some part of the payment will be done by the government and some part will be done by the customers. In agriculture, loan also usually get some subsidies will given by local banks. Banks don't give subsidies. Banks gives loans. Subsidies are given by the government. Yes, government gives subsidies in lot of things, right? Because they are aware that those sections of the society are not capable enough to pay that much money, right? So they bear they bear some part of the payment. Yes, there are so many areas. So similarly, in exporting also, the government gives subsidies. Yes, government granting. Subsidies means giving money in the form of cash, right? Also, sometimes government directly send the money to your bank accounts. That is also a form of subsidy. Instead of paying to the companies, they will directly uh, pay it in your bank accounts. Like we are hearing the news that from March onwards, from the new financial year, the government of India will directly transfer these gas subsidies into the customer's bank account, right? For that, they have asked all the peoples of to discourage import and block market access. Now, if the government takes these actions, it will discourage the import and block the market access. The tariffs, the import controls, the non-tariff barriers, which includes the quotas, the discriminatory procurement policies, restrictive customs procedures, arbitrary monetary policies, restrictive regulations. Now, if the government import all these barriers, right, then it will be difficult for someone to import and sell the goods in the same country. Sometimes the government do all these things intentionally. Why? You know why? So that to keep the interest of the local business peoples, right? So that they can earn, local business people earn and spend their life. Yes. So that the local products are sold much. Yes. Otherwise, how will they be able to earn money and live a life with their family? So the government use all these steps. They increase the tariffs of importing. They put a lot of import controls. They put the barriers like the quotas. They change the policies. Yes, like electronics, very rightly said. So there are so many examples. Tariff systems. I hope all of you are familiar with the term tariff. I explained it in my previous classes. Tariff. That is the fees that you give for the clearances and all the other stuff. Single column tariff. Simplest type of tariff, schedule of duties in which rate applies to imports from all countries on the same basis. Now see, when you import anything from some other country, right, you have to give the import duty. All of you are familiar with this. Right, so they make a set of products, or they list a set of products on which there is a fixed import duty. It does not matter from which destination that product is coming, right? So those type of tariffs are called single column tariff. So let me write down its definition. This is the definition. A set import duty paid on a specific item received from any country or from any member country of a certain international agreement. The tariff amount is strictly determined by the type of item being imported and not upon the point of origin. So here the point of origin is not important, from which country it's coming. That is a single column tariff. Simplest type of tariff, schedule of duties in which rate applies to import from all countries on the same basis. Then we have a two column tariff, that is the general duties plus the special duties applied. Can you give me an example of a two column tariff? First, let's see the definition. Expensive cars, crude oil, okay, Let's see the definition first. Yeah. Okay. Can all of you see the definition? Okay. A tariff system where the tariff rate or import tax assessed on a particular product depends on its country of origin. Now here the importing tax is dependent on the country from where the product is coming. This is diametrically opposite to a single tariff system. So it is just the opposite of single tariff system, which levies the same tariff rate on the product regardless of its point of origin. Most nations employ multiple tariff, these multiple column tariffs, with the lowest tariff rates applied on goods that originate from countries with whom a nation has free trade agreement, or if a nation is considered undeveloped, at the highest tariff rates assessed on products from developed countries with which it has no trade agreement or diplomatic relations. See, right, so we can say that this type of tariff is discriminatory in nature, right? So between the countries who has a free trade policy, they won't charge, and but whom they don't have the free trade agreement. Farooq, do you have any questions? You raised your hand. Free trade countries. Free trade countries are those countries who can freely trade. They don't have to pay any additional tax. Let me one second. Free trade means international trade left to its natural course without tariffs, quotas, or other restrictions. This is the definition. International trade left to its natural course without tariffs, quotas, or other restrictions. So the company who has the agreement of this free trade, right? So there are not much tariffs, quotas, or other restrictions of the government. But where there are no trade agreement, there these tariff rates are very high, and a lot of restrictions are there. Clear, everyone? This is the definition of. I heard that in Sri Lanka the tax rates are too high. They charge around 300% when importing of vehicles from. Yes, it might be true. Each company has set up their own set of rules. This is the definition of free trade agreement. I just got it. Just quickly read the one in red. The treaties such as FTA or NAFTA between two or more countries to establish a free trade area where commerce in goods and services can be conducted across their common borders without tariffs or hindrances. Now you can see that there are no tariffs or hindrances. Hindrances means obstacles. but capital or labor may not move freely. Right? Capital means the money. Money cannot move freely, or the laborers, the working people. Member countries usually impose a uniform tax on trade with non-member countries. Right? So there is a uniform tariff where the treaties are not there between the two countries. This is the definition of free trade agreement. Now let's see the definition of multiple column tariff. I already get it. General duties plus special duties apply. Clear, everyone? Now you can see this example, sample rates of duty for US imports. So this is the special rates, that is the 1.5%, and this is for non-NTR, that is the 30%. Non-NTR means non-treaty ones. You can see the difference. Then there is a type of tariff called differential tariff. Reduced tariff rate applied to imports from certain countries. GATT prohibits the use with 3 exceptions. Historical preference arrangement already existed. Preference is part of formal economic integration treaty. Industrial countries are permitted to grant preferential markets across LDCs. As you can as the name itself sound, preferential. What do you mean by preference? To give weightage to something, right? Giving an extra consideration, giving priority, yes. So there are many countries who give priorities on a particular set of goods, which is coming from some different countries, and they put a low tariff on it. So they put a very reduced tariff rate because those goods are are in good demand in the imported country. This is. Then the custom duties, all of you are familiar. This is nothing much to explain in this. That is all for today. I think this much is sufficient with respect to import and export. Okay. Thank you very much for attending today's class. See you tomorrow. Good night. Bye bye. Take care, all of you.